The Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury, and JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And the Cayman Islands National Museum. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture.
We ask our listeners and viewers to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Live from Radio Cayman Studio.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the Record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
With Orrett Connor.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is For the Record.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 5th of February, 2025, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on our roads, whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Remember, the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-out. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And also by Yum. Daily school lunch menus are available to browse on your Yum website. Just visit yumcayman.ky for more information. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery. And again, this morning, a big shout out go out. We send a big shout out to our colleague and friend here at Radio Cayman, DJ Lynn, for speedy recovery as well, and also a friend over in Tampa who speedy recovery to her as well. So folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I need not remind you that For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. That beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson waiting to take your calls in that control room. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number 1-800-534-8255. Also 949-8037, 949-6990. WhatsApp number 925-3261. Follow us on YouTube by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream, and we're also on Facebook as well. So, again, looking at the birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And by Yum. Daily school lunch menus are available to browse on the Yum website. Just visit yumcayman.ky for more information. So let's look at some of the birthdays today. My good friend, Mr. Ralston Anglin, celebrating his birthday today. Want to wish him a happy birthday. And as you know, he has made his announcement that he will be a candidate in the upcoming elections. I believe it is West Bay North. I will double check that for you. But happy birthday to Mr. Ralston Anglin. Also, Miss Ruby McLaughlin celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday to Miss Ruby McLaughlin. Also, Liana Lily Jervis celebrating her birthday today. Rondell Positive, that must be a stage name or a celebrity name, also celebrating a birthday today. Tomorrow, Miss Sarah Sue McField will be celebrating her birthday. Mr. Drake Watson will be celebrating a birthday tomorrow, or Drake Watson. Mr. Christopher Saunders celebrates his birthday tomorrow as well. And happy birthday to him. And celebrity, Miss Donna Bush. Miss Donna Bush will also be celebrating her birthday tomorrow. So we want to wish them all a happy birthday in advance. Miss Sarah Sue McField, Drake Watson, Mr. MP Chris Saunders, and celebrity Miss Donna Bush when their birthday arrives tomorrow as well. And again, to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs brought to you by Coca-Cola, who are proud to support your birthday shout-outs. Coca-Cola available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Wholesalers. You should accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. And also by Yum. Daily school lunch menus are available to browse on the Yum website. Just visit yumcayman.ky for more information. Just a little bit of nostalgia for you. I had the opportunity to listen on Sterling Drain's show to Mr. Roy Borden, former member of Parliament, former minister, former president of UCCI, and Dr. Alston Ebanks yesterday talking about Triple C. And Triple C now will be celebrating their 83rd anniversary here in the Cayman Islands. And I just want to share a little bit of tidbit with you. So the Tradewinds newspaper on the 11th of February 1965, that would be 60 years ago, reported that the Assembly had approved the estimates of income for the coming year. That would be for 1965, and the estimates, and it was estimated or anticipated that revenues for the coming year would be £283,881, because then our currency was pounds, shillings, and pence. Expenditure was expected to amount to just lost something there. Expenditures were expected to amount to $278,091. Of that total sum, $47,553 would be spent on education. I'll have to try to do the maths on that to see what percentage of our budget in 60 years ago was spent on education. But then it goes on to talk about the fact, it says that this year the Colonial Development and Welfare Fund, administered by the Ministry of Overseas Development, will be given the Cayman Islands a grant of £232,808, and they would also be given a loan of $150,000 for this year as well. I believe that may have had something to do with the runway, but we can talk about that later on, the airport runway. But this is the part that I wanted to share with you about Triple C School. It says that although the request was once again turned down by the Board of Education, the Assembly, that is our Legislative Assembly, without taking any vote, passed a grant of £500 to the Triple C School. So the education, the Board of Education, they rejected a request from Triple C, but the legislature took the bull by the horns, took it upon themselves to give a grant to Triple C of £500, because in those days, the Triple C and what later became Prep, the school that was run by Presbyterian Church, they were basically the two schools that were on the island at that point in time. I stand to be corrected on that, but that would have probably been the case as well. So just wanted to share that tidbit on Triple C's 83rd anniversary, that the Legislative Assembly of the Cayman Islands, despite the rejection by the Board of Education to grant £500 to Triple C School, that the legislature decided to do it anyway. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. We have a guest in the studio. We also have a few callers on hold. We're going to take those callers as soon as we return. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Sherman Erdis Ebank, Certificate of Honor, 1915 through 1995. Captain Erdis was a pioneer in the charter fishing and diving industry, for which he received the Queen's Certificate and Badge of Honor in 1991. He introduced the sport of boxing to the Cayman Islands, for which he received recognition from the Ministry of Sports, Youth Affairs, and Culture. He was a pioneer in the taxi service and in Jeep rental. He served in the Royal Cayman Islands Police Force for 10 years. During that time, the Home Guard was established, and he served there as well, keeping watch at the lighthouses during World War II. He was married to Phyllis R. Ebanks, and the couple had 4 children.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
It will be Saturday, March 1st, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. The 13th Annual Rotary Central Health Check Lifesaver, a mini medical just for you, free to you. Your blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, hemoglobin, weight management, and more. Free medical guidance, doctors, nurses, medical technicians, free glucometers, blood pressure monitors, subject to conditions. Save the date March 1. See you at Cost You Less West Bay Road, A.L. Thompson's Home Depot, Foster's Airport, Foster's West Bay, Savannah United Church. The Rotary Central Health Check 25 Lifesaver, March 1st, supported by the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens and the Health Services Authority of the Cayman Islands. Knowing changes everything.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage, with tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts Building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
Hi, I'm Max. What's your favorite part of school?
I love science. I love playing outside. What's yours?
It's lunch.
Ha! Yum. Yes, yum.
Yum School Lunch program ensures your kids have fresh, healthy lunch options every day. Yum School Lunches are now available at selected private and public schools across Grand Cayman.
My favorite food from school is pasta, jerk chicken, and spaghetti and meatball.
I love Cayman-style beef, chicken curry. Yum. We love school lunch. Yum.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I think we lost our callers. They may have had to go off to do something else. We invite them to certainly call back. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning as well, Dr. Steve McField. Unfortunately, when Doc called in on, I'm trying to remember which day it was now that, was it?
Friday,
yeah. And we had something like about 5 callers queued up and about 12 minutes left to go in the show. So, we couldn't really hear you out. But we have you around the table this morning. So, we will be discussing several constitutional issues here in the Cayman Islands. So, Doc, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning to you, sir, For the Record. And good morning to all your listeners in For the Record land, and all of those who listens to you Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and also who listens to you from the Cayman diaspora. Good morning.
Okay. And we're talking off air, about the school. I shared that tidbit about the Triple C School and what that was all about in relation to the Assembly granting 500 pounds to Triple C, for that year in the budget as well. And, we were talking about some of the other schools you mentioned, the Seventh-day Adventist school and the Presbyterian school that was in place before that. Go ahead, share some of it with our audience for me, Doc.
Yeah, at that time there were 3 private schools, and they were mainly 3 large private schools in the Cayman Islands. There were little schools, for kindergarten and so forth, but there were 3 public schools, private schools in the Cayman Islands. The Seventh-day Adventist school, it was a private school.
Mm-hmm.
It started on the premises where Butterfield House now is, on 4th Street.
Uh-huh.
And then across the street, it was a Presbyterian school where the old naval base buildings that were deserted after the U.S. Navy left after the war.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were Triple C, who started someplace on the hospital road, near where Dick Arch lives now.
Okay.
That's where Triple C was, and they were the 3 main private schools in those days, and then there was the government school, which was called a government elementary school.
Okay.
Which was across the Presbyterian Church on the waterfront on the Iron Shore. That was the government elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the schools in the 60s and the 50s and 60s. Now there were schools.
You had Dobson Hall as well.
Yeah, well, Dobson Hall came after. Dobson Hall was a part of the elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
After it got overcrowded, and
Okay.
they had to use Dobson Hall for the amount of students who were enrolled there. But Dobson Hall School was not a private school.
Okay.
And then there were schools before that. There were there were people like Teacher Hill. Teacher Hill was the headmaster for the public school,
Mm-hmm.
and Teacher McField came. Miss Yona, and all of those people taught at those schools. Miss Yona Bush,
Mm-hmm.
and then before that, there was Mr. Gorin's school. Mr. Gorin was brought here by the merchant class, the elite people, to teach their children from Barbados, and of course, Commissioner Cardinal, at one time before he left, made a remark and say that Mr. Gorin was the most educated man he had ever met. And of course, you heard the story about Mr. Gorin.
Yes, when he quoted Shakespeare.
Yes, when he quoted Shakespeare, and the legislative he was part of the legislative assembly also, and he quoted Shakespeare, and the commissioner at that time had to adjourn the legislative assembly to go home to look at his dictionary to see what he meant by what the words he had said in Shakespeare.
Yeah. We're going to try to grab a caller or two before we go to our 8 o'clock news. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Oscar.
Hey, good morning. How art thou?
Yeah. I was on from 7:35, but they keep dropping out. I would like to say happy birthday to my beautiful daughter up there in the Brack, who shares a birthday with your celebrity, Donna.
Mm-hmm.
And she also shares a birthday with the great Bob Marley.
Yes.
And happy birthday to Mr. Chris Saunders. But is it wrong for someone to send out birthday greetings to themselves?
Well, it depends on how they look at birthdays.
I mean, if they
don't forget my good friend Ralston, Mr. Ralston Anglin today.
Yeah, he's today too. I want to say happy birthday too, but then I also want to say happy birthday to the host of For the Record.
Okay, thank you.
I don't understand how you got a control of the radio and you can't send out. I know one thing. Everybody would have known it would be my birthday.
Yeah, well, that's a. If it hadn't been for Lord Graham, I would not have known either. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Doc. I don't make a big fuss about it. I don't, and I want to thank all those persons who reached out this morning to me. 6 o'clock this morning, my good friend, Alan Moore, gave me a call as well. He wanted to be one of the first to wish me a happy birthday.
He wanted to do it. I had to stop him. I said, don't jump. Yeah. So now that here when I'm talking about school, I just want to put this in real quick. I know we always talk about getting our people educated and qualified, and we're not qualified for all the jobs and all those full things that we talk about. But now that I'm talking about school, all the teachers, I think that Dr. McField would remember, most of them were Cayman teachers, where in the day where they never had a lot of schooling, but yet they turned out to be good teachers. So I have a family member who came from the UK as a teacher, qualified as a teacher, and she applied to government, never heard anything, bam. She applied more upscale.
You're coming in muffled.
Yeah, she applied. She applied to a private school, and right away they called her in and offered a job and everything. So I think government might have heard that, and they called her in and offered her a job. But then she lives in Borden Town, and they put her all the way down in West Bay.
Wow.
So I don't know if that was to deter her from, say at least we give you a job. Use that as an excuse, but put her all the way in West Bay.
An offer you couldn't accept.
Yes. Well, guess what? They went as far as offering her more money that she was getting at the prep school. But guess what? She refused because she said, not about the money. Don't think you're going to throw money at me. Right? I'd rather to go back to prep school, and where they accepted me at the first go and teach the kids there instead of driving all the way to West Bay in the morning to school.
Yep.
So that's one thing I want to touch quickly on Bermuda.
Okay, no, we got to go to the news, but we're going to have the phone lines open all morning because Dr. McField is going to be here. So we're going to welcome you to call back because there are lots of things that we want to talk about, and I'm glad you're mentioning that Bermuda thing because we want to talk about that as well, Lord Graham. So we're going to invite you to call back after we return from the 8 o'clock news.
Sure.
Okay, folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
When you're on the go, the experienced team at Foster's Pharmacy are here to help. Drop off your prescription while you shop or WhatsApp us and we'll prepare it, ready for your arrival.
Whether you need prescription or over-the-counter medications, blood glucose testing, or advice on vitamins and supplements, we're here early in the morning to late at night. Both of our locations at our Camana Bay and airport stores are open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Monday to Saturday.
For more info, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy. Foster's Pharmacy. Better health because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Kersley Fuller. Government spent $774,000 on Pirates Week in 2024. The Culture Minister recently addressed the matter in Parliament, explaining the need for the extra funding for the annual November event.
Pirates Week has become a pivotal event in the Cayman Islands cultural and tourism calendar and offers a vibrant celebration of pirate legends and cultural heritage.
The event includes reenactments, district days, music and food events, along with fireworks and a drone show. The Honourable Dwayne Seymour told MPs budget funds were not transferred to his ministry to host the event. And back in August, Cabinet approved $574,000 for the Community Development Initiative's budget.
Since that time, it was agreed to, in the interest of maximizing the cultural impact of Pirates Week, extend the November 9th international performance so that they would perform in every district and to extend the fireworks show to every district day. Additionally, the cost of the drone show was more than initially estimated, and there were some additional infrastructure-related costs as a result of the poor weather conditions occurring during that time. These additional costs are primary contributors to the need for supplementary funding required to remedy the overage.
Cabinet also decided Pirates Week should have its own budget line item. And as you heard right here on Radio K-Man News during a summary of a recent cabinet meeting, the group agreed to move the $574,000 from community development initiatives into a new Pirates Week budget, with an additional appropriation of $200,000.
The initial budget allocation was transferred retroactively, and the request for supplementary funds was requested in TP 126. The Cabinet found it necessary to favorably consider this request for supplementary funding because it was agreed that this need facilitated an exceptional circumstance.
Pirates Week wasn't the only budget that saw supplemental funding. Again, as previously reported on Radio K-Man News, Cabinet also approved a $2 billion increase in the 2025 budget for tourism support, training, promotional, and advertising activities, and nearly $2 million in extra funds for the Central Scranton Park budget.
The appropriation EA 164 for Central Scranton Park was increased by $1.9 million in order to assist with the construction of entrances and landscaping and community center and multipurpose court and bathroom block, fencing and roadway and parking lot for Central Scranton.
Deputy Premier, the Honorable Kenneth Bryan, told MPs the 2025 budget for DAT tourism support, training, and promotional and advertising activities was increased by $2 million to help with, quote, key marketing initiatives and product development activities. This after the money originally earmarked for 2025 was used back in 2024.
This funding was utilized for key marketing initiatives in the United States, Canada, and UK and Europe, and key product development initiatives in the Cayman Islands. This increase in funding seeks to replace the funding in the fiscal year 2025 that was brought forward to fiscal year 2024.
The Honorable Kenneth Bryan. And in other news, 2 men are set for a summary court trial later in the year for wounding and other assault charges from 2024. Radio K-Man's Jebby Ebanks brings us this report.
Travis Dilbert and Ronnie Ray Canales are charged with wounding causing grievous bodily harm. The men opted for a summary court trial and entered not guilty pleas. The Crown alleges that on the 18th of July, at a location in Bordentown, they had an altercation with a man. Both men pleaded not guilty to wounding, causing fear or provocation of violence, and causing assault leading to actual bodily harm. Although charged separately, their trial is set for the 10th of April. Both men are represented by Clayton Furon and remain on bail until their trial. Jevy Ebanks, Radio K-Man News.
Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which takes us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Roisin Hasty. Governments around the world have expressed alarm about the removal of Palestinians from Gaza after Donald Trump said he wanted the United States to take over the territory. France said any expulsions would be a grave violation of international law, and Germany said they would lead to suffering and hatred. Mr. Trump told reporters at the White House that Gaza was a demolition site but could be turned into the Riviera of the Middle East. Beijing says the decision by the US Postal Service to stop accepting packages from China is an attempt to suppress its companies. President Trump has promised to stop letting Chinese e-commerce retailers bring goods into America duty-free by using low-value packages. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Bordentown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Bordentown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Celebrate Valentine's Day with an unforgettable night of music and inspiration. The 2025 Cayman Arts Festival presents the world-renowned Mark DeLisa Singers and the beloved First Baptist Church Choir coming together for a powerful gospel concert. The award-winning MDL singers have shared the stage with legends like Lionel Richie, Alicia Keys, and Diana Ross. Now they join Pastor Dave George and the First Baptist Church Choir to deliver a night of faith, love, and music. Friday, February 14th at 7 p.m. at First Baptist Church. Tickets are just $40 for adults and $15 for students. Call 922-5550 or email enquiries@caymanartsfestival.com for more details. Don't miss this extraordinary event, sponsored by Butterfield Bank.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 79 degrees. Relative humidity is 74%. The barometric pressure 30.12 inches and rising. The wind is northeast at 11 knots. Overnight low was 77. Synopsis indicate fresh winds and moderate to rough seas will continue across the Cayman area through tomorrow morning as a high-pressure system remains over the southeast United States. The forecast for the Cayman Islands for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 20% chance of showers. Temperatures today will be in the mid-80s. Winds will be east at 15 to 20 knots and seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 5 to 7 feet. Small craft should exercise extreme caution over the open seas for today and tonight. Forecast for tonight calling for mainly fair skies with a 20% chance of showers and temperatures falling to the mid-70s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots with higher gust, and seas will be moderate to rough with wave heights of 5 to 7 feet as well. Low tide will be this morning at 10:34, high tide this afternoon at 3:22, and a low tide again tonight at 10:34. The sun will set this evening at 6:19 and will rise tomorrow morning at 6:58. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through tomorrow morning. A decrease in winds and wave heights is expected thereafter as the pressure gradient weakens. That's the very latest on your weather report.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. Don't lie on your resume. Because if you say you've got trapeze experience, someone might shoot you out of a cannon and expect you to do a gymnast routine while flying through the air at 82 miles an hour. And just because you want to land on your feet doesn't mean you will. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance, so you get the best coverage for the price.
Get the best coverage for the price. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8 a.m. weather update brought to you by
CG Britcay, where people come first.
If you or your loved one is facing cancer, only Sylvester will stand firmly by your side at every step, from diagnosis through survivorship, providing you and your family peace of mind and assisting with everything you need before, during, and after your stay with us. Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center is South Florida's only NCI-designated cancer center and specializes in treating the most complex cancer cases. Your first-class cancer care is just a flight away. Learn more at sylvester.org.
Hi, I'm Deputy Governor Franz Manderson, and I'm excited to announce the DG's 5K Challenge is just around the corner. We kick off things in Little Cayman on March 9th, followed by Cayman Brac on March 16th, and the grand finale on Grand Cayman on March 30th. This year, we're supporting the Cayman Islands Girls Brigade, the Cayman Islands Scouts Association, and the One-to-One Foundation, each helping to shape our next generation. Join us in making a positive impact. For registration details, find us on Facebook at DG's 5K Challenge.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Top of the morning to you. Let's check in with traffic. Steady traffic on Cool Road heading to Georgetown. Bumper-to-bumper traffic on the Linford Pearson Highway and coming off of Agnes Way. Steady traffic off Bobby Thompson Way continuing on to Huldah Avenue. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing at a good pace in both directions, as well as on North Sound Road and heading towards the Industrial Park area. Moderate flow of traffic coming off of the Esley Tibbetts Highway. 8 Street is closed, diversion in place. Please follow all the signs. On the West Bay Road for the Ritz, traffic is steady heading to Georgetown and heading towards the West Bay area. Traffic is moving on moderately. And that's the very latest on your traffic. If you've seen accidents or incidents, please let us know by calling us at 949-6990. And that's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes past 12. We'll give you another look at traffic.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
The new KFC nuggets have arrived. That unlike the no-gets, ours are handmade using 100% white meat, unlike the no-gets. At KFC, we hand-bread every day to achieve the perfect flavor. After you try our delicious and crispy nuggets in the original recipe, you'll never settle for less. KFC, the real nuggets. It's finger-licking good.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have Dr. Steve McField in the studio with me this morning, where we're going to be talking about various subjects. We'll keep the we'll have the phone lines open as well, and we will take calls. We do. Lord Graham has called back because we did invite him to call back to talk about the Bermuda situation and several other things. And I'm going to just give him a poke, something else, give him a little, stir him up a little bit more. 1965 that I was telling you about, and the administrator's speech on the budget also pointed out that the government contracts for doctors coming into work for the government of the Cayman Islands would contain a clause in that contract that prohibited them from engaging in private practice as well. So 1965, we were saying to them at that point in time, you come to work for government, that is what you're going to do. You're not going to be able to engage in private practice.
And those are the conditions.
Yes. But
and you had men who stood by those days.
Mm-hmm.
And remember now, those men had been abroad. They had been on their schooners and their yacht and their boating vessels to other places, and they saw what could happen to small countries like us if they allowed other men who came in to dominate the economy and to dominate the social fabric of our society. And they took action.
Precisely.
Those men were very wise people. And we haven't given them the credit that they deserve.
As a matter of fact, we have reversed so much of what they did at that point in time.
Exactly.
Let's go to Lord Graham. Lord Graham, welcome back.
We're sorry.
Good morning, Lord Graham. Are you there? No, any other caller on hold? No other caller. Okay, Doc. So what? You called in on Friday.
Yes.
And you wanted to talk about the electoral boundaries report and the whole procedure. Let's go to that. I can do that now without having to interrupt you in any way.
Yes. I want to take a little time to explain to your listeners the constitutional provisions for electoral boundary commission and their reports, how it goes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, the Electoral Boundary Commission's provisions are found in Section 8 and 9 of our Constitution. And just let me read what it says so that people can get an understanding of what I'm trying to tell them. It says, an Electoral Boundary Commission shall, as soon as practical, after its appointment, review the boundaries of the electoral districts into which the Cayman Islands are divided, and taking into account the changes of proposed changes, if any, in the number of electoral districts of elected members of the Legislative Assembly, and shall submit a report to the Governor and the Legislative Assembly containing its recommendations for any changes in the numbers and boundaries of the electoral districts. In preparing its report under the section, the Commission shall A. take no account of the racial distribution of electors within the Cayman Islands, and B. take into account the natural boundaries within the Cayman Islands, and C. have regard to existing electoral districts, and D. subject to the following provisions of this section, ensure that they, as reasonably practical, the electoral boundaries are equal to one another. Now, it goes on to say that as soon as may be after the Commission has submitted its report. Just a minute. Going one page over.
Okay, we're gonna grab the. You ready?
The chairman of the Electoral Boundary Commission shall vacate the his or her office on the day following the date of submission under Section 89 of the report of the Commission. If he or she becomes a member of the Legislative Assembly as a public officer, or if the Governor, acting in his or her discretion, directs that he or she shall be removed from office or inability to discharge the functions of the office, whether arising from infirmity of body or mind, and any other member of the Electoral Boundary Commission shall vacate his office on the day following the date of commission. The Commission submits under Section 89 the report to the Commissioner, to the Governor. I think I'm lost there.
Okay, I'm going to give you a chance to look that up. Let's grab Lord Graham in the meantime. Lord Graham, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Morning again. Just for Dr. McField, knowledge on schools in Cayman, I could touch on that real quick. In 1960, Miss Rose, Rewriter store, started the Truth for Youth School. There was a little shack, I think, behind her school, her shop. And then they had to move, and they went to Miss Sister Faye house there, close by the entrance of Moringa Town. And she didn't have space in her house, so they were on the blocks, sitting on blocks on that tree. I think Miss Heather Borden might have been involved in that too as a student.
Okay.
And then they moved to the site where they are now. Okay, OC. I had a conversation this morning with a former MP.
Okay.
And he was trying to say, I think, that the reason why we're in the mess that we're in is because with immigration is because Bermuda have a more advanced constitution. But even if they have an advanced constitution, you imagine they now saying with their advanced constitution, they don't want to be like us. They don't want to go down the same road like us, even though they got a more advanced constitution. So that are no excuse, OC. We don't need an advanced constitution to change the rollover policy to a point where it takes people away from being able to apply where they can become the majority of my population. We don't need no advanced constitution for that. We just need an amendment. So now I gotta go quickly on to the white paper that hit the floor. Oh, see, I don't want nothing to do with that white paper, bro. That don't have no binding clause in it saying that the next administration come in have to adhere to that. Last minute on the bringing white paper. I had my white paper a long time ago. David Rich told us the same thing. Then later on they appointed Dr. McField, the Honorable Dr. McField, that came back with his findings and what the amendments he thinks should have been made. What happened to that? Why is it we didn't have a white paper to change it from what it used to be to what it is now? They didn't bring no white paper. It was no white paper concerning that, OC. So why is it all of a sudden now we come in with a white paper when we had 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it's been now, to change this? Because we saw this coming. And not only that, we were told way back in the day by David Rich, and lately all along by Dr. McField, been preaching until they finally acknowledge him in a way that they put him on a committee to do findings and come back with his opinion, right? When they were supposed to meet, I understand from reliable sources that some of them never turned up to the meeting so that they could have a quorum. Because you know why? That was all camouflage just to put Dr. McField and make him look like a donkey. But I can't say a donkey because donkey was an essential thing to help back in the day. I call him handkerchief head.
To make him look bad.
Handkerchief heads.
Yeah, just to make him, yeah.
You know, so this white paper thing, Dr. McField and OC, I want you all to talk about the Bermuda, the statements that the Bermuda people make where they are more advanced community constitution than us, and this white paper that just came out. So I'm listening for you guys to talk about. Let's stop talking about the boundary commission now, because that going. They're not paying under no mind with that. Let's talk about this white paper thing. Okay?
All right, okay. Thank you very much, Lord Graham. Any other callers on hold, Miss Susan? Okay, Doc, you found what you were looking for?
Yes, and then that talks about how the commission is founded. And then it says, as soon as maybe after the commission has submitted a report under subsection 1, the Premier shall lay before the Legislative Assembly for its approval the draft of an order by the Governor for giving effect, whether with or without modifications, to the recommendations contained in the report, and that draft may make provisions for any matters which appears to the Premier to be incidental to or consequential upon the other provisions of the draft. So the report comes from the Governor with an order to give effect, whether without with or without recommendations. It doesn't say to refuse the petition to the recommendations. It says to give effect to it. That's what the governor report is to say, to give effect to it with or without modifications, I mean adjustments to it. The report from the government does not say that you can at that stage that you can set aside the draft order, or that it's a matter for cabinet. Cabinet has nothing to do with the report from the governor at that particular stage, as was happening already here. And then it says, where any draft order laid under this section would have given effect to any such sub-recommendations with modifications, the Premier shall lay before the Legislative Assembly, together with the draft, statements of the reasons for the modifications. So in this particular stage, there was no modifications. Okay? There's no modifications.
Got you.
So it goes on to the next section, what to do if there are no modifications. It said if the motion for the approval of any draft order laid under section is rejected by the Legislative Assembly, as what happened in this case, or is withdrawn by leave of the Assembly, an amendment draft shall be laid without due delay by the Premier before the Assembly. That is the procedure.
Yeah. Yep.
That is the procedure. You just can't not approve it and then walk away from the Assembly. You have now to send an amendment. It says, I'm going to read that again.
Yes, do that, please.
If the motion for the approval of any draft order under this section is rejected,
which it was,
by the Assembly, or is withdrawn by leave of the Assembly, either in other cases, an amended draft. That means amended draft of their recommendations shall be laid without delay by the Premier before the Assembly.
Okay.
And then it says, if any draft order laid under the section is approved by resolution of the Legislative Assembly, the Premier shall submit it to the Governor, who shall make an order which shall be published in the government notice in terms of the draft, and that order shall come into force for the determination of the boundaries of the electoral districts to which it relates upon the next dissolution of the Legislative Assembly, if it is made. The question of the validity of any order by the Governor purporting to be made under this section and reciting that a draft of the order has been approved by the Legislative Assembly shall not be acquired into any court. So the whole procedure is completely ultra virus of the Constitution. In other words, it's wrong, and it's a big mistake what they did. All the MPs are responsible for that. Not just the government. All the MPs who voted for it are responsible for it, because it has been rejected, and there's no amended draft that has been unduly laid by the Premier before the Assembly.
Okay, we're going to go to a commercial break. I want you to think about this, Doc, and when you return, we can address it. What would an amended draft consist of? If they are rejecting all of the recommendations that were made by the Electoral Boundary Commission, then what would an amended draft consist
an alternative
of?
Draft. That's what it means. An alternative to that has to be put before the Assembly.
So you have to have something at the end of the day.
You have to have something.
Got you. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or build a fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Social media, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Interact with our talk shows on YouTube. Download our official Radio Cayman app, or you can log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky. You can also add us to WhatsApp
on 925-3261.
All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Radio Cayman. This is For the Record.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me Dr. Steve McField. Doc, don't forget that question that we have there. But we do have a caller and a WhatsApp number. We're going to take the WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Caller, if you're hearing us, you want to unmute your mic, please. Okay, Doc, that person obviously isn't paying attention, so we're going to come to you.
So, the mistake was they never followed the letter of the Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
They rejected it, and they rejected the boundary report in cabinet, and then they went down to the assembly after that, which they had no right to do, because the constitutional provisions relating to the boundaries and the boundary commission has nothing to do with cabinet. It speaks to about the governor and the premier and the legislative assembly.
Mm-hmm.
And then they went down to the parliament, to the legislative assembly, as it there's no parliament, and which they had a right to do. To approve or not approve, or to amend or modify the report. They didn't modify the report. They didn't approve the report. They rejected the report. And the law says, the Constitution says, in the case where they reject the report, an amended draft, that's mean a amended draft order or report order shall be laid without undue delay by the Premier before the Assembly. I have not seen any. I have not seen it published.
So this is a draft order.
A draft order.
Not a draft.
A draft order.
Not an amended report.
No, a draft order.
Right.
To approve or not approve the motion, amended draft order which shall be laid on without due delay before the Assembly. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any amended draft order. Now, the Commission followed the constitutional directives to the letter. The committee carried out its duties thoroughly, and it carried out its duties conscientiously. The Commission, in its report, made proposals for additional constitutional boundary representation, and it also made report to adjust the boundaries in the various constituencies where there were anomalies, because under international standards, and we were criticized about this when and recommended, the recommendations came from the Commonwealth Boundary Commission, people that came to examine our boundaries and to see whether we were up to date with the latest international standard of voting, which means one man, one vote. The vote must be equal. Every constituency must be no more than 10% more or less in numbers than the other constituency. Otherwise, you have an imbalance, and that would be completely undemocratic. Now, there were some constituencies just need a little tweak to make them to go back to the 10%, because some of them were out a little bit. So there was no great changes in some of the constituencies, especially in West Bay. But in the eastern districts, there were some changes that had to be made. Had to be made. Now there has to be there has to be a mechanism to amend constituent boundaries, because otherwise they will stay the same regardless of movement of electors from one place to the other. So now, is that democratic? Where you have one constituency that is 60% more electors than the other constituency, and that makes it unequal. And that is where the Boundary Commission has the right under the Constitution to amend the boundaries, to move them here or there, to adjust them so that each constituency can be equal. So we must consider, or else we will have to consider a different arrangement of our electoral system. If we don't do it, what other arrangement are we going to have? We'll have to consider a new arrangement to our electoral system. Now, the governor's order is to give effect, as I said, to the recommendations of the commission report, not the cabinet. If Parliament rejects the recommendations, Parliament must table a report like I said just now, a change to another system. So otherwise, we have to go and change to another system of electing, which requires a legislative vehicle to address that.
Doc, can you go back to subsection 3 of
yes.
section? Says as soon as May be after the commission has submitted a report under subsection 1.
Yes.
Right? The Premier shall lay before the Legislative Assembly for its approval the draft of an order by the Governor for a given effect. So it's a draft of an order, not the report itself.
A draft of an order.
Order, right.
Yes.
Given effect, whether with or without modification to the recommendations contained in the report. And the draft may make provisions for any matter which appears to the Premier to be incidental or consequential upon the other provisions of the draft. It says, where any draft order laid under the section would give effect to any such recommendations with modifications, the Premier shall lay before the Legislative Assembly, together with the draft, a statement of the reasons for the modifications. So in our case, there were no modifications, to the draft at all.
Yes.
And there was nothing that was done to give effect to the recommendations made by the electoral boundary.
Exactly, and not only that, it took the order, the recommendations were given to the governor and the parliament in last year August.
Mm-hmm. So your contention is the draft that you want to see. You're curious to know what the draft order contains.
Exactly.
Okay, got you. We have a WhatsApp caller back now. Let's see if we can grab. Let's take the WhatsApp caller because we've been back and forth with them. We'll take them. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Go right ahead.
Okay, I'm so sorry about the Okay, now the issue about the Boundaries Commission, of course, is very, very important. But like Lord Graham, I think to me the whole white paper is the most important thing. But let's talk about the Boundaries Commission. You see, this is no less than you expect from this lawless parliament. You remember the time when there was a motion brought by the opposition and there was an issue regarding how you compute the time?
Yes.
Deliberately, the speaker, working with another member, deliberately they violated the express word of the standing orders so that they could defeat a motion. And despite the fact that there's a law made by Parliament where the Attorney General can take constitutional questions to the Court of Appeal or to the Grand Court, it was never used. So this is nothing less than you expect from these people. They have become totally lawless. In another call, I will tell you about what is happening about my judicial review, how the Court of Appeal refuses to recuse itself. But I'm not calling about that now. Mm-hmm. I think, like Lord Graham, I think one of the things that I hope you can cover before the program is over is about this white paper. This white paper, well, first of all, let me begin by saying, you see, as a person who is not a Caymanian, I'm interested in this because the status holders are the reason why I left a portfolio of legal affairs, but that's another story. But about the white paper, you know what the white paper is, and I'll be very blunt about this. That is nothing but a scam by politicians, but that's my opinion. When you look at the white paper, what is not in it? Okay? There's nothing there about your preferences. People keep calling with radio shows about job preferences, about why Caymanians are only given job preferences only when their qualifications are level with a foreign person. There's nothing in there about that. They should have preference if they qualify for the job, regardless of what the foreign person is qualified for. Then, are there any targets in that white paper regarding how many PR grants and status grants? There are no targets. There is somebody I know who ran in 2017. He said, let's have targets which ensure that we don't grant more PR than the natural birth rate in the Cayman Islands. Nobody has taken that up. Is there a rollover in government being introduced? No, rollover in government is not being introduced. And so what do they expect they are going to achieve? By merely saying, well, you will get PR after 10 years instead of 8 years. Or your husband will get status or naturalization after 9 years instead of 8 or whatever it is. Nothing. What has happened is that the politicians know that the status holders in Cayman now have got a lot of political power. They are afraid to effect reform, and it is time that you as Caymanians walk up to that. Well, I know that the two of you in the studio, Lord Graham, and a number of other people understand that. Until they do something about this in this white paper and so on, it is nothing but a scam. The private sector have got these people by their anatomy, and they are not ready to do what people in Cayman want. I thank you very much. I'll let you go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. We're going to the commercial break, and then when we return, we'll have Dr. McField respond to the caller. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
She hear clunk and our car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you are remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts Building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
With Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. We have a caller on the line, but I want to give Doc an opportunity to respond to the last caller.
You can call
as well.
You
want to grab the caller first?
Yes.
Okay, let's grab the caller on the WhatsApp number. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. On a regular number, sorry. Welcome.
Okay.
Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Good morning.
Go right ahead. You're on air.
Yes, good morning, Cayman. I just wanted to make a suggestion about our voting situation and our all the electoral districts. I think a good solution to it would be one man, one vote, national vote. You can vote for any candidate that you want, don't care where you live. And the top 19 elected people then would be the ones that, get into our parliament. We're a small island, and if there's a hole in the road by Hurley's, that affects people all over the island. So I think if you're a Caymanian, you would take care of the whole island and not just concentrate on your district where you know your people are voting for you. But if you're getting people voting for you from all around Cayman, you'll be responsible for all of our islands and all of our situations. And then we can work on getting a lot of these issues, fixed. Because, just because Miss
Juliana O'Connor lives in Cameron Brack and she gets elected in Cameron Brack gets a new school. No, that whole situation, the problems we have may be eliminated if we have a national vote, one man, one vote, national, because people move from district to district or constituency to constituency just to vote for their people that they want in office. But I think a lot of things would be, issues would be eliminated if we just have one man, one vote, national vote. Because all of us are Caymanians and all of us need help. And all of the representatives would be responsible for every person on this island rather than, oh, this is my buddy down here, so I'm going to take care of Mr. D. Lee Banks. You know, no, that's not how.
So caller, if I may interrupt you there, you would want one person, one vote, but you get the opportunity to vote for all 19 members of our parliament. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know if I understand your question. You only get one vote. You just vote for one
person.
Where they are.
Got you. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm.
If I like Mr. Dan Scott, then I will vote for Mr. Dan Scott. Although I live in the Honorable Mr. McKeever's electoral district. I don't care where the candidate is running from, because they can choose where they want to run at, and I think that's unfair to the electors because they can choose but we can't. So just give us all Caymanians that we can vote for anyone we want in any district that they happen to be from, but they are running for Caymanians. They're not running for North Side. They're not running for Borden Town. They're running for Caymanians. So please help us, Caymanians, as a national vote. Give us a national vote. And I think we'll solve a lot of this little hassles that we have about where you live and registering. Because we all live in Cayman.
Okay. Point well taken, caller.
Caller?
Yes?
Are you still there?
Yes, I am.
A lot of Caymanians feel the way you do. They share the same views that you share, but that would be changing to another system of electing, which would require legislative vehicle to address that, and that is what I don't know if any government would prepare to do that. To do that now, it would have to, that pressure would have to come from the electorate. But a lot of people share your view, and they speak to me about it too. Nearly all the time, we talk about this, the system of voting. They talk about the national vote and the system that you suggested. Like I say, that would be changing to another system of electing, and that will require legislative vehicle. And you know what that vehicle would have to be. It would have to go back to another referendum to adopt that vote. And I don't know if any governments now would want to go back there. But a lot of people feel the same way that you do.
Caller, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for that. Susan, the next caller is on WhatsApp. We're going to take the WhatsApp caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning. Morning.
Good morning to the guests. Mr. O.C., technically, right, it's in the season now, right? So the political climate is based on characteristics and casting aspirations in any and those, right? And now, Mr. O.C., different now, right? The whole proverb or cliche, the commonplace or stereotype. The mass Caymanians, right? The eligible to vote. There's no credits, right? The ideal of it, or no acceptance or recognition. The whole mental capacity. You know what I'm saying? Mr. O.C., I try to be, it comes to 9 o'clock hour. Listen, Mr. O.C., I called when I was in prison in captivity. You had Minister J on, Minister Saunders on, and Kenneth Bryan. And I told them point blank, in not the law. I was passionate about it. And when I had the prison phone, I bought a Rambo. Not going through now. coincidentally, they say they're gonna decriminalize the herbs and gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the Park government, they fall out, right? And at that time, they operate, right? They were powerful, and gradually, single, unified. More left it. That's the proper word. More left it. Not operate at a time. Okay.
Okay.
And in terms of essence, like I say now, all they're doing now, when we vote, the polls is like a sanctuary to most Cayman Islands, to some people. Now Wednesday, it reported to most people. And in this era now, a lot of national bureaucratic economics going on, economic infrastructure, right? And they want to see the long-term gain of it. Okay. In all the jurisdictions, all the countries, regionally or internationally, they fully provided, repeated, they executed, and not the law. And what you see going on in the parliament, I watch it online, on TV, whatever, right? I analyzing the body language, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because so they get going, so see Mr. McField, they've been stalling, procrastinating this thing, stalling, right? Reciprocating back and forth. And when Mr. Roy Tatum on, he agreed with me, and I agree with him. They should have passed a law with the herbs. That's simple. Now they have people confused, frustrated. Not me, no, but the average people undermine them and demoralize them when they come to the polls. So I hope this next admin, we don't want a deja vu. Especially me, we don't want a deja vu. We don't want that. Because we have to part of the time now. We got to be intact with everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because we left behind. We the minority. Reserve, limited. LTD, limited. So we got the power now with things. Big and serious.
Okay.
Mr. OC, before I go now.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Teresa coming on Friday. Mr. Teresa.
This Friday?
Yes, she coming on with the national vote. That topic. She coming on now.
I'm not sure yet, but we'll let you know if she will be on.
I'll follow up with that.
Okay.
Mr. OC, have a good day, man.
Thank you very much, Rambo. You do the same as well. Folks, top of the hour, headline news. When we return, the conversation with Dr. Steve McField will continue. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
We are Radio Cayman, covering Cayman Right, Little Cayman, and Grand Cayman. 1 in a million. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
Government spent $774,000 on Pirates Week last year. The culture minister recently addressed the matter in Parliament, explaining the need for the extra funding for the annual November event, which includes reenactments, district days, music and food events, along with fireworks and a drone show. Parliament resumes today at 10 a.m. Palestinians, Egypt, the UK, and other countries have condemned Donald Trump's plans for a U.S., quote, takeover of the Gaza Strip. Donald Trump says he wants the U.S. to take a long-term ownership position and turn it into the, quote, Riviera of the Middle East. Trump says Palestinians could be resettled away from Gaza in areas, quote, where the leaders currently say no. But Hamas calls the plans absurd, and the Palestinian Authority says Palestinians won't be resettled. More widely, the UK says Palestinians should, quote, live and prosper in their homelands, while Egypt says Gaza should be redeveloped without its people leaving. And thousands of employees at the United States Agency for International Development will be placed on leave from Friday night. In the announcement, USA said all, quote, direct hire personnel will be placed on leave at the end of the week, except those on, quote, mission-critical functions, core leadership, and specially designated programs. The move is the latest in a string of cuts U.S. president has made to government-funded programs since returning to office last month. Those are your headlines. I'm Kersley Fuller.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me Dr. Steve McField. I'm going to share this. This person wrote this, caller sent this in early, says, they say, good morning, can you please ask Dr. Steve, could the speaker not have intervened in respect of the matter being discussed, talking about the draft order. And then the person goes on to say, yes, I'm very concerned about the white paper on immigration too. Why doesn't the government put all these good ideas from David Rich, Dr. Steve, Mr. Belika, Nick Joseph into changes to our immigration law for the betterment of Caymanians and our islands? It makes me so sad and annoyed. Sometimes I wonder if these politicians have a plan B for their families that is outside of Cayman, because can't believe how they can't see or won't see how dangerous this unbridled permanent residence in Cayman and Cayman status grants are for these small islands. And I want to thank that writer for that as well. We have two callers. We have we're going to take the WhatsApp caller first. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and good morning, Dr. McField. This
Good
is
morning.
Mr. Brian. How are you guys?
Good morning. Good
Mr.
morning.
Premier.
How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. I just want to call in to remind the listening public that today debate on the referendum continues today, and hopefully will wrap up. A first person to respond today is the I guess the leader of the TCCP, Andre E. Banks, and then potentially after that I'll wrap up the closing debate. But to also thank Dr. McField for coming on the show, because he's such a great resource of information and guidance, particularly politically and constitutionally, because, you know, he comes from the grassroots like myself, and I thank him so much for assisting in this process, because so much times we don't get the other guidance from the other places, particularly like today in respect to why the process was done the way it was done with the Boundary Commission. I think the Attorney General should come on and explain the nuances as to why we took that process. But I can't tell him how to do his job, but we take the legal advice from those in consultation with the governor and why we take those steps. But
if I may interrupt you there, Deputy Premier, if I may interrupt you there, just ask one question. Did we seek any advice from the eminent authority on our Constitution, Sir Jeffrey Joel, who, you know, was instrumental in helping us to craft our Constitution in terms of what that meant and how the procedure should be followed? Because the government, at the end of the day, their concern was that there may have been constitutional challenges later on as to the procedure. Do you believe now that the advice that you have been were given and that was followed now insulates you from that any challenge?
I mean, that's what we have been advised. Obviously, we don't just take these decisions lightly.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer your first part of your question, yes, we got advice from that senior counsel, Mr. Jeffrey Jewells. So the advice was in consultation with our Attorney General, who's our senior legal advisor, but our international advisor would then be Mr. Jeffrey Jewells, who helped us with the Constitution, as you highlighted. So, but I can see the quandary that the Dr. McField has highlighted. But no document is perfect, and our Constitution is definitely not perfect. And this is the quandary that we have when there's not an agreement how you go about the process. It is proven that we need to make some tweaks to the Constitution, but I think there's so much more other matters right now that we need to focus on behalf of the people. That one is minuscule. I don't think it's something that most people are up in arms about, but it's a very important topic. I don't want to undermine the issue.
But it has Minister, if I may, with all due respect, it has to do with the process that we're going to be going through on the 30th of April. People's ability to vote, how they vote, where they vote, and stuff like that. And you know, if I may say, that Electoral Boundaries Commission report, you know, was submitted quite a while ago. So legislators excuse that, you know, it is something that we don't, you know, we can't do now because we don't have the time. That, you know, the responsibility is left, you know, to them.
Minister.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the Legislative Assembly didn't. They have the power to do what they did with the motion to approve. They could do that. But the mistakes they made were mistakes that were made. First, the Boundary Commission report was not dealt with effectively immediately after it was handed to the Parliament. If that had been done, we wouldn't be in this mess today. And secondly, the decision to not approve the draft was made in Cabinet. That was a mistake. Cabinet had nothing to do with that at that particular stage. And then at the next stage, I don't know why after I guess they realized that mistake, and then they went down to the Legislative Assembly and they disapproved the motion. But that's fine. But then the Constitution say that if the motion for the approval of any draft order under this section is rejected by the Assembly or is withdrawn by leave of the Assembly, the amended draft shall be laid without delay by the Premier before the Assembly.
And the question is, was that amended draft?
Was that amended draft done? Was that done? Because if it's not done, that was a mistake. Now, I know that people make mistakes.
Let's let him respond to that first.
Respond to some of the stuff.
Sure, go right ahead. Yes.
And Mr. Connor, I definitely want to agree with you. By all means, the election process is the most important process for democracy. So I definitely do not want to undermine that, and getting it right is essential. So I didn't want to undermine it by saying, oh, it's not very important. It is very important, but the public will still have the opportunity to vote in the process. Where you vote as opposed to if you get to vote is two different matters. That's only what I was saying, but it's still very important. In respect to what Dr. McField has said, Cabinet did not approve. A Cabinet process is something to allow what the government's position is to then go to Parliament so that the Parliament can deal with it. And I think it's important that I also say that this is not only the government. All members of Parliament agreed with this process, understanding the nuances and the complexities of what the Constitution mandates and what our position is to approve or disapprove the motion. So it's not like it was something in isolation only with the government that is left. Every member, including attorneyed like the Honorable Wayne Panton, even Andre E. Banks, and our Premier Juliana O'Connor. So it's not something we took lightly, and we've done as much advice as we possibly can in respect to what is the best process moving forward. Is it perfect? No, it isn't. But we take the necessary steps that we can. under the circumstances, the advice that is given to us, and we've gone as far as the UK to get the legal guidance there. But an opportunity to amend and approve so that this doesn't ever happen again. But honestly, I think the question should actually be, should we be changing our electoral system? Because Cayman is so small, I'm not certain that the single member constituency approach actually worked the way we wanted to do it. And if we weren't in a single member constituency approach, maybe we wouldn't have this discussion this morning.
And you do realize that in order to change that now, we would have to go and seek a constitutional amendment.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm prepared to do that if the good people of Cayman elects me again and I be a part of a government, because there's a number of things constitutionally we need to consider. And I know Dr. McField have talked about many of those. And it's time for us to get the strength that we need to protect our people, not only in the electoral process, but protecting them in their rights and immigration matters. So that's just my personal view. I want to make sure that that is clear.
Sure.
Well, Minister, I am willing to support anyone who is willing to go to do this. If you are willing to do this, I am willing to be behind you 100%. Those changes have to be made, because remember what Lord Sanker said over 100 years ago. The Constitution is like a living tree. Sometimes you have to cut off a limb from it and let it regrow, or sometimes you have to just trim it, and sometimes you have to just cut the limb. That's what its Constitution is for. It's not a document laid in stone or in iron or in steel. And so, if once you are willing to put all these things in place and to rectify all of these mistakes, including abiding by the constitutional provisions of Section 119, you have my support. You have my support.
I will be so much for that.
I will be with you like the cloud holding up the angel.
Well, Dr. McField, I would like to tell the public this. If the good people of Cayman and the Lord allows for me to be elected again, and I am on the government side, I'll be seeking for you to be a legal advisor to the Cayman Islands government, because we need somebody as bold as you, as experienced as you, and understand the history upon which we came from to advise us on the better structure that we need constitutionally and to enforce the powers. Because one thing I do know about you, you are an enforcer. And in these times that we are facing today, we need people who are bold and not afraid to protect and stand for the people of the Cayman Islands. I think that's one of the biggest failings that we had in this administration, is just not being willingness to, regardless of how many people will get up in arms, stand for those things that will protect Caymanians. And I tell you what, if the good people of Georgetown Central elect me and the Greater Cayman Islands, I want to stand with 9 other members or more who are willing to fight. If they're not willing to fight, then it's a futile exercise, whereby you sit there and you beat your gums over and over again. The people are so tired of talk. And I get it. I totally get it. It frustrates me. They want people that are Nike type people. Just do it. I don't want to care about the colors. I don't want to care about the sides and the arguments. Just protect me and my livelihoods and my family. So, Dr. McField, I think you are an essential component to that solution. And I really don't know why you haven't been used more in the development of our political system and our society and the Cayman Islands as a nation, because you're such a great source of knowledge and power, particularly for what we call your grassroots people that understands where we came from, not what we've actually just circumstantially become today, because it's almost as if there's no clear direction. And I tell you what, I will be seeking your counsel and your guidance as a lighthouse for me in my political future and the governance of the country. So I'll leave it there, because I know there's other callers, but I just wanted to give some context on what happened inside so that people can understand and encourage persons to tune in today to the closing remarks of the referendum, because it's essential to the many other things that we're dealing with. With that being said, gentlemen,
before you go, Deputy Premier, it would appear, based on the what we're hearing from the progressives, that you're likely to get the support that you need in terms of the number of votes, for it to pass.
Yes, it does seem so. I want to take this opportunity to thank the progressives, particularly that of its leader, the Honorable Joseph Hugh. And that's about a mature leadership, that recognizing that decisions have to be made, and you can't be flip-flopping or in between like the TCCP. I'm getting quite difficult to say that. But those who quit on the government, who have been back and forth, and their track record is not looking so good in respect to holding a position on anything. But I'm honored that the leader of opposition and the rest of the progressive members have recognized that the people's will to have a say in any matter is more important than political partisanship and behavior. So, but the vote hasn't been taken yet. It will probably be taken around 3 o'clock today, based on the timelines of debate. But I'm happy to see some light at the end of the tunnel and give the people the power to give us direction on where to go in the future.
Thank you very much, Deputy Premier. Thank you very much. We're going to take a commercial break. I believe we still have another caller on hold, Miss Susan. 2 callers. As soon as we return, we will take those calls. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers, a compounding story.
I don't think people realize how pain creeps into your life. It has a way of robbing your strength. I really don't like taking prescription medication orally.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. They understand.
When it comes to compounded medication, it's personal. So whenever there's a problem with some medication or treatments that's not working right, then a physician will call me and say, hey, they're having bad side effects from this medication.
Compounding pain cream changed the game. Made special for me. Significant pain relief in the form of a cream. That is a new experience for me.
It's changed his life.
It worked.
Ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about compounding at West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Call 914-6449.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Dr. Steve McField in the studio with me. My pleasure to have him. Before I go to the caller, I just want to say that I'm happy to see that persons in Cayman are following other what's happening in other jurisdictions, especially overseas territory. So yesterday, this whole thing, was circulating about Bermuda and what Bermuda said about the Cayman Islands and our population and everything. And I would welcome people and encourage people to read up on those newspapers. Go to BVI News. There's something on their website every day. Even some of the independent countries like Dominica, St. Lucia, Turks and Caicos. Every Friday, you have the Turks and Caicos weekly newspaper that is published. You get information there. They also have the Turks and Caicos Sun. That is run by a gentleman by the name of Hayden Boyce. And those of you who know about the history of the Cayman Islands and the late Desmond Seals, Hayden Boyce once worked for Desmond Seals here in the Cayman Islands at Cayman Net News. I think he's married to one of the missing family members in Turks and Caicos as well. But happy to see people reading other newspapers, the Royal Gazette, and of course, I think the Royal Gazette it's really subscribed, but you get a few free reads before you're required to subscribe. Go and look at it today. Those of you who talking about political parties, and you will see views in there about independent candidates and independent thinkers and what they do. Lots of comments about that, because we have the same debate that is going on here in the Cayman Islands as well. 110 candidates for 36 seats. 27 of those 110 candidates are independent candidates. Read up some more, and then you can take it and circulate it to your friends. I don't know how many of you actually read it. I know some people just basically circulate it because they want to be the first to show their friends. Here's what I found. Here's what I find.
Yes.
I go a little bit deeper than that into it. Anyway, let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Loud and clear. Go right ahead.
Yes. Good morning, OC and Dr. McField. My name is Darrell Dakers. I've never called in on a show.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
But as a Christian, and as you Google and research the world, Cayman is the only country that says, and we didn't say that, this is what they're writing, that what makes Caymans different is their Christian heritage. So I will start by saying that King Solomon said, a man that don't learn from his mistakes is a fool, and he that complains and don't have suggestions is also a fool. So I don't call this morning to complain, to suggest. And as Christians, we keep so quiet. We think if we speak is a sin, but we know that Daniel was next to the king down in Babylon. So let me start by saying that my suggestion lies this way. Our politicians that go in, some Caymanians, and we have some good politicians there that go in with the right mind, but they lose their focus along the way. Maybe pressure, maybe they get a little high on the horse, I don't know. So my suggestion for the election for people that's rerunning, my suggestion, don't go to their meetings. This is just my suggestions. Go back and research the last 4 years. If 4 years cannot tell you about a politician that is re-entering, then 10 meetings is not going to tell you. One. Secondly, like I phone certain politicians, don't get up there and tell the people, here is my plan. You said that you're representing the people. Meet with people before you make a plan. Because if you're representing us, how do you know what we want? So meet with us, get all the ideas. You can't use all of them. Some of them might not be any good. Compile them with your experience and your knowledge, put them together, and then present to the people, hey, from listening to you, here is what I have put together. And I was speaking to some politicians, and they tell me, I have this plan, have that plan. I say, it's not the way. Bible doesn't work that way. When Jesus went to people, and they say, well, you can't bring Christianity in politics. Well, look at the Cayman Islands, the only country in the world that is written, he has founded us upon the sea. Of God save the Queen, God save America. No, he has founded us. And it's not the politicians that made these islands great. I was speaking to an American that came here, Steve Holland. He said I can call his name, from Phoenix Construction in the 70s. I said, Steve, what kept you in the Cayman Islands? We only had mosquitoes. We didn't have no tourism or banking. He said, Darrell, when I came here, I was a nobody as a young man. When I came here and I met the people, I said, this is what I've been looking for all my life. It's the people that kept me here, and that's what make the Cayman Islands. So there are my views. And people that are running, some of them will play the song by Bob Marley, get up, stand up for your right. But he also wrote, wake up and live. So we really, and I listened to the minister this morning, have good views. But again, I will one statement I will make. I go as a health counselor. I go on the beach about 3 times a week. And I can tell you, as I talk to tourists, they have the solution for Cayman. A matter of fact, so a guy from Czechoslovakia said to me, he was telling me such good stuff. He said, I'm going to work permit. Can I run here for politics on a work permit because I can fix it? And these people have some great ideas of what even Dr. McField is sharing. These people are sharing the same thing. So I say to some of these people, did you know Michael Jackson? Yes. When was his birthday? I don't know. What was the special food? I don't know. What time he went to bed? I don't know. But I say you say you knew Michael Jackson. I say you knew of Michael Jackson. They said yes. That's the same way people are with God. I'm not judging anyone. But the Bible says from your fruits you shall know them. So a lot of politicians, well, let me take back the word. Some politicians might get up there and use the word of God, but they might be like the persons that I asked about Michael Jackson. They know of God, but they don't have an intimate relationship with Jesus. And because of that, he can't lead them the way that he should.
Yep.
So to end my talk, when whoever's elected or the new members, go in there and be humble. Now, people get confused with the word humble. It means to be kind, gentle, loving, and teachable. And listen,
okay.
That's what humble is all about. If they're not doing that, then they're on a big horse. And I will just leave the story with Nebuchadnezzar. Sometimes God have to move his protection, let them lose the race, to let them see, hey, it's a boy bigger than you. God bless you all.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much. I think we can grab one more caller before we go to our break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How are you
Good morning. I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Doctor, it's been a little while. I didn't hear you. How are you?
I'm fine too, sir.
Thank you. Doctor, I want you, if you have time today, please, to explain. I had a little conversation on another talk show yesterday, and we were talking about district councils, and some people were saying, what use is district councils? And I explained with my little understanding, which is not too much, that if you have a district council, the neighborhood people can get together. They know what is needed in their area and present it to their representative who is not able to meet with everyone, don't have the time, and then they can take it from there. But I was told that wouldn't work, and I mentioned your name, that you could be the only one really to explain it for me. So I'm going to hang up, sir. And if you could explain what a district council would do, and if it is any good for the district, I'd appreciate it. OC, thank you very much. I'll give you a call later.
Thank you very much, caller. Yeah, we'll try to cover that for you this morning as well. Good request. I still have about a minute, so I'm going to read this one. This person says, has written and said, as a father of 2 children whose mother is originally not from Cayman but is now Caymanian, my wife's view is that for the good of hers and other generational Caymanian offspring, the following steps should be made. Number 1, freeze immediately all permanent residency for at least 10 years to be reviewed then, so that Cayman can catch up. And good point. I'd like to expound and expand on that somewhat if time will permit. Freeze indefinitely all Caymanian status except for descent and proper marriage. I would say legitimate marriages. Yes. And 3, provide incentives for Caymanians abroad to return. Those 3 points. So if we get an opportunity, Doc, we will we could cover those as well. And I want to thank that writer for that. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the phone lines will remain open. Dr. Steve McField will be in the studio with us until 10 o'clock. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. For the Record, we'll be back shortly.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Step back in time and discover the rich history of the Cayman Islands at the National Museum. Located on the waterfront in Georgetown, the National Museum is proudly housed in the Old Courts Building, Cayman's oldest standing public building. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture. Open Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And here's the best part, Saturdays are free for residents. Don't forget to visit our museum gift shop. Every purchase helps preserve our artifacts and the historic building we call home. Visit www.museum.ky for more information.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. At Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Triple C School is celebrating 83 years strong. Join us for a night of food, culture, and community at our celebration gala on February 8th, 6:30 p.m. at the Family Life Center. Enjoy delicious traditional Cayman cuisine, fish, turtle, conch, chicken, Cayman spicy beef, and all the trimmings. Also, spot prizes and live performances by Swanky Kitchen Band and Triple C Band and Choir. Tickets are only $100 and proceeds go towards ongoing school projects. So dress smart casual and come be a part of this incredible 83rd celebration. Get your tickets now at the school office. Triple C, building on our legacy.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. My pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning, other than Dr. Steve McField. I'm going to share another WhatsApp message with you. This person has written and said, although I haven't listened to the entire show this morning, but just commenting on a few points that were raised, I think it is high time that whatever is necessary to amend the Constitution to move from the one man, one vote needs to be done as soon as possible. Secondly, I'm sure you all saw the article from leaders in Bermuda where the Cayman Islands were mentioned with respect to immigration matters. I applaud those leaders and wonder when our leaders in government will stand up and make the Caymanian people their priority. Well, I must say that, yes. As far as Bermuda is concerned, when the Honorable W. McKeever Bush was Premier of the Cayman Islands, I think he was Premier then, there was a big back and forth with him when a lady by the name of Paula Cox
That's right.
was the Premier.
That's right.
And there was an acrimonious situation, with them back and forth. We saw, for instance, when the Honorable Kurt Tibbetts was leader of government business, and the Premier of Bermuda at that time was Alex Scott. After Hurricane Ivan, we saw the Bermuda Regiment come down and assist us. Yes. Bermuda also said that whatever funds that they received from registration of companies in Bermuda as a result of not being able to do it here in the Cayman Islands, they would give that money to the Cayman Islands. So we have had good relationships with Bermuda. Bermuda, at one point in time, we copied them when it came to the rollover policy. We see Bermuda ended up losing a lot of international business, hence the drop in their population. Not also to mention the fact that many Bermudans have now immigrated to the UK once British citizenship was offered. But again, I'm glad that people are looking at other jurisdictions and reading what's happening there. And I can only say, please, folks, continue to do that because you will understand more. Now, we're going to, the one person, one vote. We got two callers, but I want you to respond to this very quickly, Doc, because people are saying they want to do away with one person, one vote, but they haven't told us what it is that they want instead. Some have said, I want my 5 votes back, I want my 4 votes back, and stuff. We know that that isn't democratic, and as many of you may be shouting it, and up on the hilltop, shouting from the hilltops, folks, it ain't going to happen.
No, the British government's not going to allow that to happen.
No.
That's not going to happen.
That would be a retrograde step.
Retrograde step, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, O.C.
Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad. Morning, Doc. Quick question for you. I know that, like, for example, what's happening in the U.S. politics. There's these advocacy and watchdog groups that hold the government to task on their legal responsibilities and requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And so now a lot of these executive orders issued by the current president is now being challenged and in some cases even been upheld in the court of law. So my question to Dr. Steve is, why isn't the Cayman Bar Association, or why doesn't the Cayman Bar Association form a advocacy group that holds the government to task or take the government to task when they do not follow the said laws and constitution? Because, and I ask that question simply because I've always been told, well, it's up to us, the populace, to hold the government, to task. And the problem with that is the layman can't do that, not very easily, and certainly not without significant resources. However, I do also know that most corporate entities, and including the legal fraternities, their companies and certainly the ethos usually is to provide civil community service. And I can't think of a better service than to actually create a watchdog group that deals with these issues and can legally address them. Because what I also am seeing to be hearing here is, okay, this is all good and well that our government hasn't done it, but also our governor is delinquent in their job in terms of managing these islands. Because at the end of the day, whatever our politicians do or don't do, the governor has assent to, or
certain things. There are certain things that are left in their hands, and very little that can be done by the governor.
But the core question then is why do we not have an advocacy group or a watchdog group that is formed by the local legal fraternity, Cayman Bar Association, or whatever it's called these days, and this is why can't this happen if it can't?
And if I could ask you a question, caller, before Doc responds to you, we do have a constitutional commission, but they can only make recommendations. And if you go on their website and you see the number of recommendations that they have made with the various chairpersons in there, and at the end of the day, they're in many instances, the majority of them, their recommendations are ignored. And maybe we should develop a constitutional commission that does more than recommend. Maybe give them a little bit more teeth in terms of their ability as far as what they do. Doc?
So, caller?
Yes.
Listen very quickly. Listen very attentively now. In 1988, Mr. Orrett Connor, myself, Orrett Marin, Peter Polak, Mr. Levy, and Miss Thompson and
Karen Thompson,
and then we formed the Caymanian Bar Association. It was formed for the same reasons that you mentioned just before you stopped speaking to Mr. For the Record. It was formed for that reason, for those reasons, to protect the Caymanian lawyers who were coming out of the law school, and to protect and to defend the rule of law in the Cayman, and to make sure that democracy was prevailing in Cayman, and that it was prevailing with the best interests of the Caymanian people. Mr. Orrett Connor was the first president. I was vice president. Orrett Marin was secretary, and Peter Polak was the treasurer.
I think one of our listeners said Keith Collins may have been involved.
Keith Collins, yes. Mm-hmm. And They did everything to put Cayman Bar Association down. We were invited by several different governors on legislation before it came out, for our views on it, and we were happy. The governor said that we were represented the best minds in Cayman at the time, and that he felt confident that we would give the right directions. We did that. From its inception, the Law Society, which was the most of the lawyers who were on work permits and the non-Caymanian lawyers was against the Caymanian Bar Association. They could not understand why we needed a Caymanian Bar Association. Eventually, they killed it. They killed the Caymanian Bar Association. Eventually, they killed it. There is no Caymanian Bar Association today because what they did after I left the presidency, and I think Orrin Marion and Sir Alden McLaughlin left the presidency, and I think Teresa Lewis was the last Caymanian president. And in fact, when I drafted the articles and memorandum for the Caymanian Bar Association, had a clause in it that said only Caymanian-born lawyers could join. And because it's a non-profit organization, when it went to EXCO, Mr. Truman Borden informed us that he was not going to allow it to be registered because it was against the system of allowing Caymanian status people to join. And we conceded that. But they didn't join in the 80s. They didn't join in the 90s. Yes, they did. And then at the late 90s, when they saw that we were, in fact, when they saw that we were taking, having priority in the Cayman Islands with in relation to having heirs with the government, with what was right for Caymanians and what was in the best interest of the Caymanian people, they escalated the causes against us. And finally, they came and they joined the Caymanian Bar Association as if they want to become members. And when they became the majority, they disbanded it. That is what happened to the Caymanian Bar Association. So there is no advocacy. There's no watchdog now to see that the rule of law is being carried out and what is done legislatively and so forth is in the best interest of the Caymanian people. There's no Caymanian Bar Association. There's no one now to come to the courts and say, we are going to challenge the governments or we are going to challenge this institution or that because we don't think it's in the best interest of the Caymanian people. There's no one to do that now. That is the position that we're in.
Caller?
Thank you for that. Thank you for that background information. And while very unfortunate, at the end of the day, while it was killed, I keep telling my fellow Caymanians, as I sat on the PR board back in 2006-09 and before and after, that nothing happens to us that we don't allow to transpire. And unfortunately, sometimes people like yourself, myself, and a few others are willing to stand up and howl, but we seem to be howling in the wind because nobody's there to support. Having said all of that, and with today's, with the evolution, fast forwarding to today's time, and I specifically asked that question, to be very honest, to plant the seed, and I will take it a bit further and just basically say, with times have changed as they have, and where we are today, and I was specific to say that not necessarily the Cayman Bar Association itself, but members of the Bar Association form a separate entity that's not affiliated with the Bar Association, except for the fact that they're active members in that association, so that they have the legal wherewithal to make these challenges and certainly pressure the governor at a minimum to dispense their their charge, if in fact it is applicable. If not, then file it through the courts and do what we got to do. And with that, I bid you a good day and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, caller. As well. We're going to take a commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
Shipping to the Cayman Islands is fast, reliable, and seamless thanks to Cayman Airways Cargo. Need it faster than ocean freight? Cayman Airways Cargo offers multiple cargo flights to Grand Cayman from Miami weekly, so your packages, whether big, small, or in between, will arrive in no time. You can even use a Cayman Airways Cargo US address for your online shopping. Cayman Airways Cargo is also the only carrier providing air freight services for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Contact us today and see why Cayman Airways Cargo was voted as Cayman's best cargo and logistics company in the Best of Cayman Awards. For details, visit caymanairways.com/cargo.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Dr. McField will be back in the studio in a few minutes. One of our listeners wrote and said, "Good morning, OC and Dr. McField. I was wondering what aspects of the Cayman Islands are still really controlled, owned, and directed by Caymanians." My response to that is not much. So what we need to do is we need to hold on to what we as Caymanians have, and we also have to try to strive to acquire more. That is the only way. That is the only way. Hold on to what you have, and if you can acquire more as a Caymanian, please do so.
Especially your land.
Yes, in particular the land as well. We have two callers. We're going to ask the callers to please be as brief as possible, because what I want Dr. McField to talk about is a very important question that one of our callers, the first one had. The other one about the status and stuff, very important as well. I'm not sure we're going to get to that. But the one about the advisory district councils, that's a very good question. So two callers, they're going to be our last callers. We're asking them to please be as brief as possible. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yeah, well, if we're too brief, then there's no point. But I'd just like to make the statement that we're in the situation we are in because of our cultural orientation, our socialization. I wrote Time Longer Than Rope in 1979 because I understood what was going wrong. What we did not want to address is our own lack of proper socialization and education. When Dr. Steve McField speaks, you can tell that he's been someplace and that wherever he's been, he's learned something. Collectively, at his age, he has an ability to reflect and to project. And in doing so, he's the most important person on this island at the moment in terms of helping Caymanians resolve the many conflicts that they're in. I was very happy when the Honorable Minister Kenneth Bryan called this morning and made the remarks that he did. Sometimes I have problems with Kenneth, but mostly I see him as a little boy still fighting. I always knew him as a fighter, and he's fighting for himself. He's fighting for his people. And that I have to admire, because when you recognize the people that can help you and you're able to be humble enough to get their support, then you deserve that support. We need young politicians that are willing to follow what Dr. McField is talking about, because what he's talking about always makes sense. We cannot operate a society without structure, and that's what laws give us, structure. And we're always trying to ignore it. Lawless Caymanians, as we were called at one particular time. Let us grow up. Let us realize that if we're going to keep what we have, we are going to have structure. And so you need to follow the advice of people who have the age and who have the experience and who have the knowledge. When he's spending all his time that he could have been spending making money, he's spending coming on the radio and trying to get the government to do this and do that. The immigration policy of this country are very important to look at. We're now beginning to see that because Bermuda is saying that. He's been saying that all the time. He was hired to do that, and yet those same people in this government remove him from the very central positions that he was in to help us, and then we're crying about the situation that we're in. If we can't learn respect for each other, how are we going to go forward as Caymanians? What's the point of being a Caymanian with a Caymanian if the Caymanians do not respect Caymanians? I want to be able to restage the play time longer than rope, so that people can see that from the time that me and Dr. McField came back to this island, and we started to say, look, we were outside of the island. We were exposed to certain things. These are the dangers that we have. These are the positives that we have. Let's develop the positive, and let's make sure that we make provisions to see that the dangers do not destroy the fabric of our Caymanian society and solidarity and community. Our families are broken down. Our communities are broken down. Our political system is now broken.
Thank you very much, Dr. McField. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Doc.
We have our last caller because we want to touch on Advisory District Council's caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning.
It's Alice Mayco here. I'm calling as chair of the Concerned Citizens Group. You're having a great show on many points. And I know Dr. McField in particular knows all about the fight that the Concerned Citizens Group have been having.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
From 2001, trying to have our prescriptive rights in particular recognized and registered and preserved. Now, I believe everyone is familiar with the name Uncle Bob's Road. That's off of the Badabanu Road.
Yes.
It's not only a road into the little residential area, but that goes right down to the water's edge and was used forever and ever as an access to the sea, the little Uncle Bob's Barcadere and everything, where people not only launched boats but they had their little swim area and the whole thing. Now, that was included amongst the affidavits that we filed in 2001. And to date, that is still languishing. And I would like to share a little extract from a Public Lands Commission meeting of the 17th of December 2024, which says, Uncle Bob Road, PROW, timeline, a chronology of actions and events was circulated to members. It was unanimously resolved the matter was not addressed administratively and is consequently considered time barred. ES abstained from casting a vote on this matter. The motion to close this matter was moved by TE and seconded by SM. Now, it's an utter disgrace that this has occurred. I'm not sure whether or not the meeting may not have been quorate, but if it were not quorate, I presume that resolution is pretty useless. However, this has been in the mill. It has not been dealt with. That's just an example of one. It's another disgrace for the people of the, not just Westby, the Cayman Islands, to be deprived of a beach access that has been there, I'm sure, for over 100 years, because I remember it 70-odd years, and there are people older than I, like Mr. Kem Jackson, who can vouch for it having been in existence. What are we going to do? When are the people's rights to access the water's edge, the beach, something that's long established as Uncle Bob's Road? When is a government, and of course this one we have in at the moment, we know who's in charge of lands under which the Public Lands Commission falls, right? The Public Lands Commission was set up theoretically to take care of these issues, but there seems to be an obstacle to prevent them from carrying out what we had hoped that they would be carrying out. And these issues have to be dealt with. We are not trying to stop development. We are not trying to deprive landowners of their rights. But for God's sake, the people of the Cayman Islands have rights that must be upheld.
Thank you very much, caller, for that.
Caller, you still there?
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, Miss Alice May, those rights have been prescribed and enshrined in our law for over 100 years.
Right.
The 1882 prescription law, and you can find them, the gambling law, prescription law, all of those rights. They're still in the blue book. They have not. Those laws have not been abolished.
Right.
For the sake of me, I cannot understand when the law is quite plain. Somebody was reading it the other day. It says that once you have been using any road or what subway, blah blah, to leads to any sea or any beach for picnicking, for launching boats, for fishing, for and for recreation and things adjacent there to blah blah. You have for 20 years, and it wasn't by lease or rent or by permission. That you have an absolute indefeasible right. That means it can never be taken away from you.
Right.
And then today it's not even recognized and registered. What a travesty of justice. What a travesty.
Yes.
What a travesty, ma'am.
Yes.
What a travesty.
I want to thank the caller for that. Miss Susan has to be off air exactly at 10 o'clock because she has other jobs to do in terms of her parliament and the proceedings there as well. So I have to make sure that she's not late for all of the other things that she has to do. Doc, we didn't get a chance to talk about Section 119. But we will expand on that.
Yes.
We will talk about that the next time that we're on the air. So I want to say to Mr. George Shillett,
yes.
Don't worry,
Yes.
we will cover it. But I will say this much. Don't let any legislator tell you that it can't be done. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't have this or you can't have that in it, because it is up to the legislature to make the law, and you can put whatever it is that you want to put in that law in terms of how an advisory district council is supposed to operate.
Right. Yes.
As
there's
well.
always a law. There's already a law.
Yes, you drafted it.
Yes.
So it is there, and you can put whatever you want to put in it in terms of how that advisory district council is to function, how it is formed, how the members are, selected and everything else as well. So, folks, don't forget, join Sterling Drainey Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands. And again, Dr. McField, thanks for being here. Wish we had more time, but unfortunately we don't.
Yes.
Folks, have a great day.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury.
And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient.
Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Kirk Market. Experience a world of choice. And the Cayman Islands National Museum. Explore captivating exhibits and learn about our unique heritage and culture.
Since 1976.
Covering Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and right.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.